Jaguars lose to the Browns at 31-27. Let's talk about it. Now, before we get into this recap, quick word from this video sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook, where you can bet on everything, anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Now, the Jaguars were 3.5-point underdogs on BetUS going into this game, and thanks to the 2-point conversion call that the Jaguars did not get, which I still don't really understand what that was, but because of that, the Jaguars do not cover. They lose by 4 points. So now the Jaguars drop to 8-5 on the season and against the spread. So if you guys are interested in maybe putting down some money, playing with a little bit of stuff during Christmas and New Year's, or hey, maybe you want to gift it to somebody, BetUS is offering you a 125% deposit bonus. So if you drop $100, you're going to see $225 show up in your account. There's all different kinds of things you can bet on, whether it be futures bets when it comes to the AFC South winner, or maybe you want to predict who is going to play in the Super Bowl. All this different stuff is done through BetUS. So that's something for you guys. And look, all payouts are issued within 24 hours. So you got that going for you. So quick shout out and thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Now let's start this therapy session. Now, this game was a pretty rough watch, I will admit. The Jaguars went down 14-0 to start the game. And, from there, the game pretty much switched between the Jaguars being down from 7 points back to 14 points, 7-14. And it was just the Jaguars never really able to tie the game or get any kind of a lead. They just kind of kept the deficit the whole entire game. And the Jaguars only lost this game by 4, but I'm not going to lie, the whole entire game, I know you guys were kind of watching the live stream and, appreciate everyone for being there. While I had my optimism, it always felt like throughout the whole entire game, the Jaguars were going to lose. It just kind of felt like that. It felt like the Jaguars were never in control. Momentum never really quite shifted. We just weren't doing clutch things in clutch moments. You know what I mean? And look, going into this game, Trevor Lawrence's whole entire week was a point of conversation. He was questionable with the ankle sprain, and he actually came in there, and he didn't really look limited at all. I mean, he was rolling out, he was running. He never really went to grab for the ankle. So, hopefully now he'll get another 7 days of rest before the Sunday Night Football game against the Baltimore Ravens next week at home. So, yeah, the Jaguars really needed Trevor Lawrence this game because, look, the Jaguars have no run game right now, and they haven't had really much of a run game the whole entire season. Etienne and Dearness Johnson combined for 17 carries of 47 yards. That's a measly 2.76 yards per carry. It's just awful. The run game is awful. And I'm not going to lie, Cam Robinson was a huge hit. I know a lot of us really talk about, like, we look for the future and we say, okay, we're probably going to get rid of Cam Robinson because he's expensive. We're not going to be able to afford him. But man, he brings like a nastiness and like an energy level that just isn't rivaled by anybody else on a team. And the run game is different with him in the game. And, without him, it's just completely different. It's just a huge hit without Cam Robinson. And now this will be the third game in a row that the Jaguars will lose a left tackle. I mean, they lost Cam Robinson. Then the next game they lose Walker Little. Then now Ezra Cleveland went down. And I'm not sure what the injury was, but hopefully he's good to go next week. But look, he left and didn't return. So I don't know. That's unfortunate. So the Jaguars running game right now is so bad that on a 3rd and 1, the Jaguars went empty backfield. Like, are you kidding me? And we went through it deep and got intercepted. But that's how little faith that even the coaching staff has in the offense, where it's like, all we need is a yard. But we're not going to run it. We're not even going to look like we're going to run it. We're going to throw it because we can't possibly convert, which, hey, I agree. Don't run on 3rd down because we're probably not going to get it. It's going to be much higher percentage of us being able to throw for that. So that's just, man, it's really, really bad. And look, the passing game with Kirk out is going to suck, but our second most reliable guy, maybe our first most reliable guy, is Evan Ingram. Look, he had 11 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Evan Ingram will probably be the beneficiary of Christian Kirk being out because, look, those two guys are our two most dependable receivers. Parker Washington only had 2 receptions for 27 yards, but he had a really, really nice touchdown. 2 games in a row with pretty impressive touchdowns. I think the Jaguars might have found something in this day 3 pick from Penn State. So that's good to see, some good stuff from our rookie on that end. And look, Ridley this game, Ridley had 13 targets, but only came down with 4 receptions for 53 yards. And I'll be honest with you guys, man, he's, to me, turning into a liability. I mean, he is truly a net negative when he's on the field just because of he shoots our teams in the foot way too often. Like he'll drop crucial passes, or there was the Parker Washington play, the touchdown. If you look back, Calvin Ridley decided to take the play off and yell at the ref, and he's just in crucial moments when we need something, he just doesn't come through. And like every game, there's a bad mistake by him. It's just unfortunate because I had all the faith in the world when the Jaguars got him. I thought he was going to be a beast and the Jaguars wide receiver 1, but he's far from that, unfortunately, and it sucks to say. But and of course he still has skills. He still has he's still decent. Like he still has a skill set. It's just the plays that are missed by him just can't be missed because it causes us to. Generally, most of the time, it causes us to punt or give the ball to the other team or miss or leave points on the board. It's just unfortunate. Zay Jones this game, a rough game for him. 14 targets for 5 receptions and 29 yards. Not a good day by Zay Jones in any stretch of the imagination. He dropped a couple of big ones. Just, I don't know. Our wide receiver group is just very, very unclutch and very unreliable. And, there were times where, with Calvin Ridley this game, for example, Trevor Lawrence threw a ball to him and he just wasn't looking at it for some reason. It led to an interception. And Trevor's like, dude, look at me. Look for the ball. I don't know. It's rough right now. It's rough. And Trevor doesn't have anybody besides like Evan Ingram, but we don't have like the deep ball right now. Our offense is missing the deep ball. We thought we were getting that with Ridley. He's just not it. And, we don't have anybody that Trevor Lawrence can just drop back and, oh my God, I'm pressured. Let me just throw it up to this dude. He has nobody that's going to create that separation or get under it, unfortunately. So that just is what it is. Trevor Lawrence this game, not his best game. 28 for 50, 56% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I probably would put 2 of those interceptions on Trevor. I think it was too much of trying to make something happen and just going deep. One of them was off that Ridley one, like I said. But, not his best game, but he did get 4 touchdowns this game without a run game. So, look, without Trevor Lawrence, I don't know what this offense would be because he is like the ultimate thing that's really moving our offense forward. You know what I mean? Like with no run game and with sketchy wide receiver play and an offensive coordinator that not many people really like, and a guy that's under pressure all the time. I don't know. It's just clunky right now. It just is. Now, defensively, look, back-to-back games that were not good. The Browning and Flacco, the last 2 games, both backup quarterbacks, threw for 300 plus rushing yard or 300 plus passing yards in each of those games. Not good right now. Not good. And the 3 turnovers were nice this game. I'll give the defense credit for that. But, it's one of these things where the Jaguars were able to get, like Joe Flacco's a statue, but we were able to get no pressure on him. And, Josh Allen, unfortunately, did not really have a good game. And the thing that stinks is, look, every player, they have their good games and bad games. It is what it is. But when Josh Allen has a bad game, there's no one else that will do anything. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be Josh Allen or nobody, which is unfortunate, which is another thing that sucked about that Calvin Ridley trade because at the time, it was like, oh my God, this is a brilliant trade. But when you look back on it, it was like we were in a situation where that trade now held our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round picks in escrow, where the Jaguars weren't able to use like a 4th round pick to go out there and get an edge rusher. You know what I mean? It was rough. It was very rough. So I don't know, man. We don't have a pass rush. We just don't. Without Josh Allen, like Trayvon Walker wasn't really getting in there. I don't know what anybody on the interior of the defensive line was doing. I had to check in the 4th quarter to see if K'Lavon Chaisson was even playing, but he was in there. It's just rough, man. It's just rough. So, yeah. Big picture, though. Big picture. This loss isn't as painful as it probably should have been because, look, the Texans and Colts both lost. So we're in a situation now where, look, I don't care about seeding at this point. Look, Ravens, go run wild. Chiefs, go ahead and win games. I don't care. At this point, all I care about is the Jaguars win the AFC South. And right now, when you look ahead at the schedule, the Jaguars with the Colts and Texans losing, the Jaguars can now afford to lose this game against the Ravens, and then if they finish off 3-0 against the Buccaneers, Panthers, and Titans, then they have the AFC South Division title in underhand. And look, they can even afford, next game, the Texans are probably going to be without CJ Stroud. They're without Tank Dell, Nico Collins, like Dalton Schultz, like all the receiving weapons right now. Like they got very, very injured in New York. So I doubt the Colts or Texans are going to finish the year 4-0. So we could probably maybe even be able to go 2-2 down the stretch and still win the AFC South. You know what I mean? So the AFC South, it's in a good place on that end. But I will say, I've kind of at this moment lost any faith of us maybe making a Super Bowl run. We just aren't good enough defensively when it comes to getting the pass rush. We have no running game, and that's been a theme all year. And right now our receiver group is sketchy. And, with Christian Kirk being out of the lineup until at best, maybe AFC championship game, we just don't have enough going there. And, with the way the team is playing right now, I just don't see it. I don't know. Luckily, the playoffs start in a month and then don't start next week. So the Jaguars, and with the way they end the season, they have the Bucks, Panthers, Titans. Those might be some good games to be able to potentially get this offense back going because, the last couple of games have been a little bit rough. And attrition is a real thing right now. Look, we're without Cam Robinson, Walker Little, Ezra Cleveland. Christian Kirk's going to be out for the extended period of time. Andre Sisco has a groin right now. Tyson Campbell's in and out of the lineup. I will say, shout out to Monteric Brown. That guy looks like a pretty good cornerback. But, yeah, we have some attrition going on, so hopefully nothing super serious on that end. But the Jaguars have Sunday Night Football next week, and that'll be a big opportunity for the Jaguars against the Ravens to look. We got this 3-game AFC North streak going on where the Jaguars have lost 2 in a row. This is an opportunity where, the Jaguars, let's beat a legit opponent. We don't have any real, outside of maybe the Bills and the Texans, no big, and actually they swept the Colts, who were a winning team, but I don't know. I don't take them very seriously. I'll be honest. I don't think they're as good as their record is. I'll just say that. No offense to the Colts, but this will be an opportunity to actually say, hey, this is the number 1 seed in the AFC. Go out and beat them. Do it to prove it to yourselves. It's prime time. Do it in front of your fans. They're coming to your house. Respect your house. Protect your house, and go out there and do something special. You know what I mean? Hopefully. But yeah, Jaguars are 8-5. They lost 2 games in a row to winning teams. Look, the Bengals, they've had their rough stretches, but they're playing good football right now. The Browns are a good team. Look, we lost by 4 points today to a good team in their house in bad weather. We didn't go out there and get smoked. It's not like we're the Texans right now. We're like, dude, we just lost 24-6 against the Jets. We lost to a good Cleveland Browns team. And look, next time, hopefully we can turn it around and, win that one. But yeah, the Jaguars have some time to figure some stuff out. Like I said, I still think that we have the AFC South. I still think we win it, so I'm not freaking out right now. I would be very nervous if both the Colts and the Texans won. Then all of us are tied with the same record. Then we have to be pretty much perfect down the stretch, seemingly. Now I feel better about it in the sense of okay, we have some breathing room. Let's just go out, take care of business, figure out a way to win these games, and figure out a way to get this offense together. This game is really going to be on the coaching staff to figure out how to use their personnel and, go out there and do it. But yeah, sky's not falling for me. I know Jaguar fans, everyone's freaking out. I don't know. I guess I'm just not in that mindset. So we'll see. But thank you guys for watching. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. All kinds of different wagers to make on that. Look, we have 2 Monday Night Football games tomorrow, so go have some fun on that end. And, I will probably catch you guys on the AFC South Roundtable on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. With all that said, go Jags.